Hey folks, how's it going? RedMaster here, and welcome back to episode of Cards and Castles TV commentary. We've got some fun matches lined up for you today, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in and see what today's matches hold in store for us. Alright guys, our first match is going to see a Balto Hammer taking on a Skyan, a bit of Viking Warlock taking on the Druid Crusaders. Again, colors you don't normally see out there, but let's go ahead and jump right in. Of course, let's go and see how both these guys play out, because of course a couple of unique colors being thrown around here. So we'll start off with Lumberjack. Common early game, not gonna say anything in there, just seems straightforward. Balto responding with the Unstable Construct, not a card you see normally, considering that it can be easily dealt with. You know, it just continually dies over and over. Your opponent can ignore it if they want to, or do something like this. Of course, Skyan opting to priest up and trade in the Lumberjack here, completely wiping that Unstable Construct from the field. And of course, looks like Balto not able to put out a response, as frees up Skyan to put Paladin out, Dwarf Paladin that is. Bit of an interesting choice, I will mention here. Dwarf Paladin, not the card I would normally associate with these colors, but, you know, you might see more like Cleric along the lines, but maybe you just don't have access to Cleric, so that's why we're seeing the Paladin. Understand the swap in there, but I feel Cleric might have been a better choice for the deck. But anyway, of course, moving right along here, Balto responding with the Dwarven Miner, so a little Dwarf versus Dwarf here as the Armory goes down for Skyan. It's going to be allowing him to take out the Miner, while also keeping a 3/3 Paladin on the board. Seems fine here. Going to prompt a Warrior Battle Ready. Okay, so again, a bit of an interaction here, which will leave Balto on top this time around with the 4/1 Warrior with Thunderstrike. That'll be very useful. We'll see a Rat King go out, of course, not able to use any sort of Mystic Journey shenanigans given the colors, which, you know, thankfully, you don't need to see that right here and now. It does prompt the White Knight to come out in response, followed up by the Rider. Bit of a potential companion block there to the castle, which is okay. I mean, we'll see that Centaur hit the board here. That's going to go ahead, interact with the White Knight a little bit. The Rat King as well, going to go ahead and not make a huge impact, leaving the White Knight at 2/4. This does prompt the Pillar to go down, so some nice free stall here, gonna hit the board. Yeah, and Balto should clean up some of these units here. That top rat was a very lucky hit, so that way, you know, you don't lose this Freezing Pillar and lose that turn of stall. And the Freezing Pillar's nice here as a setup too. I mean, even if he does lose it, he gets this nice little position to where he can Thunderstrike a lot of the units away here. And oh well, there's the Cleric. I guess he is running into the deck. Okay, so Cleric hits the board here. Bestial Rage. Okay, that seems pretty good. We'll get some Cleric healing going on to the Rat King. Not the best target, but then he'll hit the Pillar. That does land on the castle again. Probably not the best target. He wanted that maybe to hit the Cleric at least once here. That will allow this Warrior to do a bit more damage to the board here. As you can see, yep, taking out all three. Healing up the Armory, which I think might have been an oversight on Balto's part, hitting the Armory first, allowing that heal to land there. You know, it's spur of the moment kind of thing. I kind of understand that, you know, simple mistake. Shouldn't cost him the game here, but we'll have to see as the match progresses. As the Rat King Part 2 comes back out here. And a bit of a weird trade-in with all these rats here. It does get the job done, but yeah, just having to put all of them in. Not exactly something that Skyan wants to be doing. And this does put Balto in a pretty commanding position. Does let the Blacksmith come out, followed up by the Wraith. Okay, so some big bodies here, which is quite interesting here. Again, cards you don't really see run in main deck, but do have some impressive stat lines. The Frost Giant, the Wraith. We'll see what else he's got up his sleeve for that. But of course, it's going to get real ugly for Skyan. Sorry. It's going to get ugly for Balto, considering Skyan can play a Call for Aid here and rebuild his hand a little bit here, especially after pulling that Bestial Rage. Yeah, Call for Aid is pretty much the only move he can make. He'll probably have to pass the turn, but that's not really a huge issue. He can set up with these Rangers in the next few turns. Frost Giant Part 2 hits the board. That does take out the Rat King. And of course, Wraith getting the free connection on it now, considering that it is frozen here. Not sure I agree with that per se. You know, Rat King, especially in colors that aren't Vikings, can be taken advantage of in this kind of way. You can force your opponent to keep some upkeep and force the kind of plays it can make here. I mean, like right now, because the Rat King died, you see that Arc Druid is now considered active. So, and then Arc Druid can do a lot here to actually clean up the board now that I'm looking at it. I mean, you got 2 global buffs, you got 2 trends. So, maybe not the best idea to give him that opportunity here, but maybe everyone's got a little bit of rat PTSD, so you never know. But we'll see what happens here. Ranger comes down, gets a Bestial Rage, okay, and then he's probably going to play the second Armory then if he has the coin for it. And then, yeah, takes out the Wraith, so we'll probably see a second Armory. Alright, so I guess now we're not going to see a second Armory, which, in hindsight, probably makes sense. I mean, you're playing against Vikings. You don't want a Lightning Blade Chain to come out and take everything off the board. So, understandable you may want to protect an asset in your hand for now instead of just letting it be out there. So, we'll see Frost Giant. We'll see Frost Giant engage with the castle. Primordial Flame moving ever so closer, putting out the third Frost Giant as well. Okay, and here's probably where we're going to start to see... No, okay, we're still not seeing the Arc Druid. Not sure why, but okay. And then Armory, yeah, I don't agree with this positioning at all. This right here opens you up for a huge Lightning Blade right here. I mean, it's unlikely that if he hasn't thrown all game, the last card in his hand, or the last 2 cards he's going to pick up, maybe not be Lightning Blade, but still, you're risking a lot here against Viking, which is unnecessary in this case. We'll see if he gets punished for it. Looks like he's not going to be. Frost Giant engages the castle. Primordial engages with the Armory. Yenneroth hits the board for some freeze action, and then he'll, of course, pass back the turn here. At this point, we could see an... Okay, the Arc Druid does come out. I was expecting maybe an Arbiter, but that didn't actually do much to clear off the board here. So this does make sense here. We're going to throw the Trent, excuse me, all around here. Balto going to go and try and push it the best he can here, but he's, you know, top decking pretty poorly. All of his early game starts to come out now. The Warrior, the Unstable Construct here, and meanwhile, Skyan's got Arbiter, which we assume is going to come out very soon here. Yep, and there it is, speaking of. That'll probably engage with the Frost Giant, yep, because it's got the stats for it. Arc Druid going to take a chomp out of the Unstable Construct. And yeah, this is where the late game of the Druid Crusader starts to come in with things like the Ranger, Arc Druid, Arbiter. All powerful cards here that if Balto really couldn't get past, he was not going to win this game, and that seems to be what's happening here. Yeah, Unstable Construct, another copy, excuse me, the Rider coming out as well. And the Cleric for Skyan's pickup again, just being able to put down more healing onto the board here. This time I'm going to go ahead and hit the Ranger. That will, of course, let the Ranger move up. Spiney's going to go ahead and interact with the Blacksmith there. A bit unnecessary to kill it, but at this point, you're in a pretty commanding position, so it makes sense that you want to use some control, really assert your dominance here on the board. Lumberjack moving in, and Skyan, that's got to be all she wrote from him. I don't see him coming back even with the 2 cards. We'll see Imp, okay, and then DONEK. Okay, I mean, DONEK's interesting. You know, that's perma Chain Lightning right there, but not enough to clear this board. So it looks like Balto does surrender here, and Skyan picks up the win in our first match. Very well done from the Druid Crusader, and not too much else to say there. So congrats to Skyan for picking up the win, and let's go ahead and move on to match number 2. Alright, folks, and for our next one here, Bolas, yeah, I had to do it to you. I caught you on the TV, and I had to put the match up here as a little plug. If you guys didn't catch the last casting conflict here, Bolas is, in fact, our next casting conflicts in this upcoming, well, I would say, like, 2 days or so. Hopefully I should have it up by. So I figured I'd, you know, plug the match up by, you know, showing one of Bolas' matches here on the TV here. And he looks to be going up against Stacy in the mirror matchup, dropping some Viking Druid, so curious as to what both of these guys are running. Maybe some Reanimate, maybe some Mystic Rat packages, I'm not sure. We'll go ahead and find out right now. Here's we're jumping into the matchup. Oh, Bolas, you're doing the funny Beastmaster Reanimate. I see your hand. And, yeah, okay, no surprise there. The Druid Viking has been pretty well versed in Reanimate stuff. You got things like Beastmaster, which can pop away a few units. Those will generate you a couple of big boys for free, really. Well, not really for free, but you know what I mean. But we'll see Hassan City Guard to start off here. The Wizard can be providing a bit of trouble here for Bolas in the early game. Of course, you can't get too close with Wizard on the board, and you don't exactly have room to pop a Reanimate if your units die from them interacting with you, if that kind of makes sense. So, oh no, Bestial Rage Wizard. Yeah, the Rampage Range, the pain in my ass. I feel you, Bolas. Not exactly a great thing to run into, but we'll see. I think he's got a good chance to kind of get through this here. Temple going to be a great start to it. He could do something with that Spiny here. Hopefully get a little bit closer. Oh, geez, really? A ludicrous strength? Gonna slap for 7? That's not fun. Can he get rid of that now with the Spiny? He's got Bestial Rage, which might help, but he's got to play it correctly, and he doesn't. Yeah, I think you need to hit the injured Trent first, and then deal sort of like a direct attack to the Wizard, but not going to see that, and this does leave Wizard room to kind of be a nuisance here, and we'll see he retreating up there, taking out some guards, taking out the Blacksmith, which is big. Following up with the Salahar Soldier does connect to the Spiny, following up with the Big Bear for some beef here. Bolas does have the option to go into a, what's it called? The Reanimate, but I don't think he's going to here with the guard. Yeah, no, it looks like he's going to shy away from that maneuver. Just a slight bit. You don't want to do that quite yet here. We'll see the Wizard, though. He'll make some moves going ahead, taking out the Temple, which I think I might be covering up on the screen. Hopefully it's not too much of an issue. We're going to go ahead and see the Bear get some Rampage again. Looks like that will connect. So basically, Bolas is facing a board clear here, but we do know he's got that secret combo in his back pocket. The Beastmaster Reanimate, which we'll probably see right now. I'm going to go ahead. Beastmaster gets thrown out. Yep. Wolf goes into the Bear, seems fine. This does give Bear Hog the room to go ahead and chomp down a couple things, and then Beastmaster does trade with the Bear, killing off the Bear Hog, giving 3 units for a triple unit Reanimate, which is fine. And of course, Banshee up there to clean up the Wizard, 2 Wraiths to push aggressively, and yeah, Bolas is in a better spot now if Stacy does pull a trick up her sleeve, which... Freezing Pillar, that is going to be a bit of an issue, especially paired with Mana Core. That does mean that Mana Core protects the Pillar, but you can't really go in and kill off with the Banshee quite yet here. So we're going to see a weird rally play, plus some Lumberjacks, which does make sense. You know, as much as, you know, it's not the ideal thing to do. And, geez, Bolas, hold on, my guy. What is this chain? Bolas, my guy. What are you doing with all of these connected units against Viking? I get that you're not in the best of positions, but my word. You better hope he doesn't take a top lightning blade out of his ass, or a temple. That's a big yikes if he does. Okay, Bestial Rage. Not exactly the best thing to see, but... Okay, so a little bit more cleanup here. Hopefully we'll kill... Meditation, not the best minor spell for this situation either. Mystic Journey, okay, so probably a rat package hiding in here somewhere, but we've got no Rat Kings to utilize, so we're going to play the Meditation. Meanwhile, continue to let that Freezing Pillar just stick around the board a little bit longer. Hopefully Stacy not top-decking the options that she needs, as looks like Lumberjack going to go ahead and die, or at least the top one. Bottom one does as well, thanks to Berserker and that Mana Core, keeping Berserker alive to really benefit off of the... combo ability that he has here. We'll see if maybe Bolas can't take advantage of this. I mean, Temple goes down, and yeah, there is the surrender here. So Bolas, let me tell you something. You got away with a sneaky victory here. Temple coming in clutch here. Reason why Stacy surrendered here. I mean, she didn't really have to be quite honest. She probably would have still been in the matchup. But Temple able to do a bunch of different chain things here, so I understand why she surrendered. Bleh. So overall, congrats to Bolas, and let's go ahead and jump into match number 3. All right, folks, and for our last match, it is going to see heyho taking on Balto Hammer. Now I know I usually don't feature people twice in one episode, but I couldn't ignore this matchup, and you'll see why as we go along here. But Balto returning with the Viking Crusader this time, going up against the Warlock Crusader. Of course, very popular burn colors here, so maybe some of the no interaction stuff. I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and check it out as we jump into the matchup. And we're on Balto's side of things here, so bit of an interesting view at the moment here. Sunflower, Paladin, Battle Ready, and Craxus. Not too much that we could tell from the opener right away. But, okay, passes up on the Warrior play. And the Sunflower, for that matter. Not sure on that one, but we'll see a construct go down from heyho, and a lot of construct coming out today here. Shield Runner, the response card. Okay, so allowing heyho to take some damage potentially from the castle with that unstable construct, which yep does go through. And Cleric as the follow-up here. So not looking too strong for Balto, but we're going to see, it looks like one battle ready. Do we throw the second one? We do indeed here. So it looks like that will connect to the unstable construct here. And be a bit of a detergent against the Cleric and Flame Prince combination there. Even with the Priest assistance here, looks like we're going to Witch Bolt the Shield Runner. That seems fine, although it does give the deck, or actually Balto's hand, excuse me, some more draw, which it might need, considering, you know, the hand we're looking at right now. Not exactly the best here. But we'll go ahead, blow the Paladin out, throw the Sunflower, and then throw it back to heyho, who in response brings out a Furnace Knight. That does do some big damage to the board here. Dwarven Paladin not doing much against the Priest. Well, the Priest actually not putting himself into the Dwarf Paladin. That's the smarter way to say it right there. And Armory does come out, Warrior does engage the Furnace Knight, and of course Cleric does take a hit from the Shield Runner, not getting any heals off. And that's good for Balto. Balto now in some strong commanding position here. He does have to put the Vampire into, well, heyho, excuse me, has to put the Vampire into Balto's Shield Runner. Not exactly the best thing you want to see if you're that deck, but looks like Balto going to do a bit more with the Dwarven Paladin here, putting it into the Flame Prince, making it even in health for the Dwarven Miner to engage in. Looks like heyho notices that. In response, Armories and Unholy Altars at the top column there, or the top row, excuse me. And here's where Balto brings out the Temple, of course, big Viking card. They're going to go ahead and slap for a total of 6, I believe, and then follows up with the Berserker. Another card you don't really see too much, but one that we are seeing quite a bit of today. Blue Fire hits the board. That does take out to the Armory. Very nice. That does allow Priest to make a better trade here. And of course, Zombie protecting the castle there. Although we do see the second Temple in hand. That could be dangerous for heyho if he's not careful. But Balto taking it easy going with the Caraxes this turn. Going to see if he can get some cards off the Caraxes here. Horseman hitting an amazing snipe onto that second Armory, which is something that I believe Balto did not want to see. Does play Yenneroth return, though. It is quite interesting here. As Temple Part 2 goes down, Caraxes does engage with the Horseman here. He does pull Pillar and Dragon Knight. We'll probably see Pillar up top, yeah, from the Zerker to freeze off the Flame Prince, prevent him from trading with the Caraxes, forcing these zombies to go into him. It looks like Mordok is going to engage with the Pillar instead, hoping to pull a strong card here. We do pull the Banshee, so it does unfortunately give Balto some more draw here. I believe the second zombie's going to go in, right? Yep, there it goes. And of course, not a great position for this second zombie here, which is going to have to forcibly make an interaction here with the Berserker. But this sets him up for some great chain, as you can see right there. I mean, Temple, man. Chain and Temple, crazy card. Doing 2 damage to everything on the board here. And not a great position for heyho here. Yenneroth's going to hit the board now. That's going to do some good freeze. And of course, he does throw it up a bit more aggressively than I think would be necessary. He does throw it right over here. I think he does want that castle hit, kind of foreshadowing that, because he's got DONEK in hand now, which could do some nasty things. DONEK, again, is permachain, folks. Don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on the fact that Fist of DONEK is essentially 2 temples in 1 3 gold spell card. So, all I'm saying, hopefully we'll see some good use out of it. We didn't see any good use out of it in the last game when we pulled it before we ended up dying. So hopefully Balto can fix that mistake here and use it quite well. We are going to see an infiltrate on the zombie. He's going to hide it in front of castle here to kind of prevent that Yenneroth from coming in and doing some damage here. But again, does equip that Fist of DONEK. He's had himself chain 4 now, which, you know, is permanent thanks to the DONEK effect. And yep, as you can see there, 2 going to go ahead and spread out, and again another 2 from the temples here. So overall, DONEK proving itself to be a very valuable card here. It does clear off nearly heyho's entire board. That does prompt the Caraxes to come out, but again, dying to the permachain from temples and DONEKs. And this does force the Flame Prince, who's been alive this entire game, to just continue to sit in front of castle and act like nothing is wrong. DONEK Part 2 comes out, does hit the Dwarven Paladin this time, so that does become a bit of a stronger card now. And of course, here's where we're going to see some nice rush from Balto, looks like. Shield Runner, Rider, Miner, Dragon Knight, the Drake pushing up there. All doing some stuff to try and overwhelm heyho, who now has to deal with 1 unit that has chain 4, and the rest, of course, packing that chain 2. Horseman hits the Shield Runner, Trap goes down, and this is not looking good for heyho. He'll have to trade into the Paladin, but dealing a whole lot of chain damage to himself in the process, and he kind of sees the writing on the wall and gives over the match to Balto. So really incredible use of the DONEK spell by Balto in that matchup here, and really goes to show how undervalued the card is in a lot of people's eyes. Mostly people think because it's more of a dwarf-centric focus. I mean, you get the +3 health if you got a dwarf, and then you don't really think much else of it. So I kind of disagree with the chain, with people thinking it's underpowered, because you have, again, that permanent chain too, which we've already kind of gone throughout the game knowing chain's a very powerful ability. So why not have a spell that can, slap any chain on a permanent unit, permanently on a unit, excuse me. So I don't know, kind of seems strange to me, but it is what it is. And with that being said, I got to congrats Balto for his win here in match number 3 here. And I think that's going to be a good point. So let's go ahead and close out this edition of TV Commentary. Alright folks, and with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this edition of TV Commentary. Let me know what you guys thought of today's match by leaving your thoughts down in the comments section below. And while you're down there, if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that like button, share with your friends, and of course subscribe if you're new or haven't done so already. It is the best way that you can show your support to the channel. Help us grow by clicking that subscribe button at no additional cost to you. And yeah, with that being said folks, that's it for me for now. So until next time, stay gaming.